is nasty. How are we looking? There we are. Okay. Okay, cool. So I've got it. We are definitely live. Let me just throw in the correct thumbnail here. TV reviews, live streams, yes, yes, and yes. And let me get that thumbnail in there.
There we are. Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Bada boom. Okay.
Hello.
Cool. And let me pull that link so I can share it on the tweeters. Bear with us, guys. We're just doing our final stuff here.
Yes.
Running a top-notch,
Hey, shut
full
up.
production live stream here. We got intros, we got outros, we got edits, we got fun stuff.
Except we don't have any of that. But yeah. All right.
We got fun stuff.
There we go. And copy that link, paste that link, send that tweet, and a bibbity bobbity boom. All setski. All right, cool. There we are. Let me pop out the chat so I can watch all the correct windows. All right, cool. Here we go. And move this over. All right, cool. Here we go. So, how's it going, everyone? I hope everyone is having a good night. Let's do this thing like we normally do it, right? What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the horror show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Davey Deathray.
And I'm Mahalo.
And we are here to discuss the season finale, episode 8 of Alien Earth. And we have mostly, except for one episode, I think it might have been episode 4, the mid-season finale. We did that live as well. And so we are back to do the season finale live. This has been a bit of a bumpy ride, but here we are to discuss the 8th and final episode. And I have started off with my thoughts most of these episodes, so we're going to do things a little bit different. But before we do that, let me get to a couple of the people that are already in the chat. We got Fauci Cinema. What's going on, Fauci? How you doing, good sir? We got Big Rod in the chat as well. How's it going? How's it going? Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. We are getting things going here as we let people filter in. But yeah, I'm excited to discuss this. I don't know if it's going to be because of, a lot of compliments or because of a lot of silliness that we can have in this discussion. Might be a little bit more towards the latter in my case, but I'll see what everyone's temperature is as we go. Gory Tiger in the chat as well. How's it going, Gory? Good to see you. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this discussion rolling, and as people filter in, they'll figure out what's going on. Ashton Luck in the chat, guys. If you guys want to say hi, throw yourselves in the chat. I will shout you out. But let's get this discussion going with, let's go reverse here. Mahalo, what are your initial overall thoughts on the season finale of Alien Earth?
Meh. Meh. I mean, it could have totally have been way worse. I was kind of expecting it to just be a really big fall off, but they gave us a little bit of they gave us some cool stuff. We finally get that big plant reveal.
Finally, we see what that thing
finally
was, yeah.
We got some cool kill scenes. We got to see, I don't know, we kind of got a quick mashup of stuff and then a whole lot of synth drama again. So it was a meh for me. And then what a cliffhanger, I guess. What a twist. The reveal of his first synth. I thought that was cool.
Oh, wait, which reveal specifically are you talking about?
The old bald guy, the
man.
face. Yeah. I was like, oh, wow. I thought he was talking about Kirsch.
That reveal, to me, was less about him being a synth and more about, she's just completely overpowerful, too powerful, can control not only aliens but synths as well. Like, what's her fucking flaw? Okay, really? Like, Jesus Christ, she's Super Sue, not just Mary Sue.
Bad bangs.
Not
bad
just Mary
bangs.
Sue, she's Super
Sue.
Seriously,
I like that.
it's fucking crazy. But anyway, sorry, I jumped in. Continue, Mahalo. With your overall thoughts.
Yeah, no. And then the two xenomorphs kind of coming together too. I thought was it was very Disney, very, very, very Disney. I don't know how else to put it. If we go in this fairy tale land, I guess the Xeno is the crocodile. Is that what it is? I don't know.
That's a good question. I never really considered which one was supposed to be the actual crocodile.
Well, if Kumi, the android guy, is Hook, and he's always chasing this crocodile, this xenomorph. I don't know. It kind of felt like that fit for me, but it just there were some really cool highlights in it. The Xeno doing Xeno things was cool. The redheaded Nibs finally being crazy. I thought that was awesome. Her random kid growling the I was like, am I hearing that right? Is she growling? Like, okay, awesome, cool. There was some wrap up of some stories too. I really thought the Oculus was going to end up in the android, just based off of how messed up his eye looked it was looking, and it was the left eye too. So I was really expecting that. I don't know. I don't want to take up too much of the breath of the room because I know Davey's also got a lot he wants to talk about too.
Yeah, Davey, your overall thoughts?
Yeah, man, this did not feel like a finale to me. This was so friggin' run-of-the-mill, middle of the season episode kind of fare. It did not feel grand. It felt like in the previous episode they were building towards something, and maybe we would get a collision course of wackiness or all the different plots coming together in the last episode. But it just sort of the season ends on a whimper. And it's basically just like they're pushing all the chips into the center of the table, and they're like, you like these characters so much, you're going to just keep on watching them argue and fight and have drama, right? And it's like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. This might be it for me on Alien Earth. One thing so Noah Hawley, wrote and is like show running this thing, right? It just seems to me like if you don't have the skill to like direct your premiere and direct your finale yourself, maybe you shouldn't be in the television business. You need to have somebody like a Joss Whedon that's going to show up for a couple episodes a season, really kick the production like in the pants, make it feel like something that elevates beyond just being a run-of-the-mill television show. Because the way that Alien Earth went, just ups and downs, like you said, Cecil, throughout the whole season here. And this last episode, I just felt like it didn't give me there was no bang. There was no like, where's the spectacle? Where's the flower monster, the alien or whatever? The CG was rough. That was I wasn't digging that. So that sort of took me out of it. I'm like, man, we're getting this in the finale. I don't think it looks really good. Yeah. It's not like it's bad. I give the whole season like a C or maybe a C plus because of some of its better moments. But I think this is the perfect thing for people who like television, and this isn't a knock against them because I just think it's a different kind of audience member that doesn't mind watching these meandering stories. There's a lot of people out there that they really like television, and that's what you get is meandering stories like 95% of the time, and Alien Earth fits the fucking bill.
Yeah, this show, considering how many times the aliens broke out and were recaptured in one season, and then broken out again, it was clearly spinning its wheels. Did not need to be 8 episodes. Could have been a pretty lean and mean 4 episodes, but it is what it is, and you either buy into and care about the synth of it all, or you don't. Yeah. And I don't. That's not to say I won't continue watching, because I am unfortunately a completionist in my own mind, and I just have to see where the story goes, even if it's terrible. At least I can then talk about it knowing I've given it a try and am able to say why it's terrible, that kind of thing. But the thing is, you never know when something terrible in a franchise is going to be the bridge to something great. And so, you know, I have a hard time just giving up on franchises at any given point, because the next thing might actually be good. You know what I mean? Annabelle, you know, to give an example, you know, it's stuff like that where the first one might have been awful, and I was not excited about further Annabelle movies, but the second two were actually pretty good movies. So sometimes you got to cross a really unsteady bridge to get to some solid ground. And I'm hoping that Alien Earth is just another example of a shaky season 1 leading to a really solid season 2 and 3. How does that solid season 2 start in my mind? With someone telling the story about how everyone at the end of this movie was nuked by Weyland-Yutani. And like, we start afresh. You know, like I care so little about the child synths and Wendy Darling and her fucking crocodiles on leashes that I really truly would rather just leave them in the dust. And I could swear someone was saying to me recently, it might have been Fuego, it might have been you, Davey, I don't know, someone was saying that there was some kind of drama on set where this actress playing Wendy is like too big for her britches, and people are speculating she might not return for season 2. But they fucking set it up as though like it's gonna be all about her and the other the lost synths, right? Because they're not all boys. So the lost synths in season 2, but man, I really wish it wouldn't be. You know, I really, really wish it wouldn't be. I wish they had done something like interesting, like eliminating all of the non-Weyland-Yutani corporations. You know, like again, like we talked about previous, if they did that over a 3-season arc, that would have been interesting. But this, I could give 2 shits about what the hell they've set up here. So I don't know. That's my overall thoughts.
It feels like they put about maybe a season and a half, 2 seasons into 1 season. They could have done 1 full season of the whole ship situation, and that should have been the opening season, and that would have been amazing. Then this season would have been the start of when the ship lands.
The ship crashes right at the end of season 1. Right.
Yep, and then that's where we would pick up to where this new season should be at. That's my fear for season 2, is they're just going to continue to mash these ideas together to just hurry get. And I honestly think if they had taken the xenomorph out of this movie, it really wouldn't have made a difference. I don't think it would have made a difference. And you could have just called this what is the name of the name company again?
Weyland-Yutani.
Prodigy.
Prodigy.
Yeah.
Could have just called it Prodigy and expanded the lore of Alien instead of just confusing every single person who's a fan of the franchise.
For a number of reasons.
Yeah.
So yeah, the story. Does anyone want to tackle the long and short of the story here?
Well, we sort of pick up where we finished off with the last episode, although I guess they do take a little bit of a leap there because the synths are just kind of in jail,
right?
Essentially, and the boy genius is still, you know, he's hanging out with the Oculus monster or alien, trying to figure out like, who do I put this in instead of making a decision. It's weird. He seems to be like pretty decisive most times, but in this instance, when he could finally get what he wants, he does not do it for some reason or for no reason. You know, other than that, we've got the Wendy starts like plotting to basically let all the synths out of their little prison and set everything up to where they're basically putting the chess pieces in place to call checkmate on all the humans, essentially. And, she lets her brother, maybe. There's a little bit of a weird energy there. She lets her brother out of the jail cell with, with our Captain Hook guy and everything like that. But she still doesn't know if she can quite trust him because he's still looking out for humans and everything like that. So, in the midst of all of this, we've got the Xeno in the jungle. We've got the Oculus trying to get on the brother's eye. That, man, I will say this, Mahalo, the reveal of the old guy being the first synth and then him like getting into a scuffle with Wendy, I was like, what the hell? And then the fact that Wendy can just shut him down whenever she wants, and it's like she knew she could do that, but still got thrown around the room by him first. So that all happens.
Yeah.
And it really is just like I don't know. There's not much. There really isn't much story going on here except for you get this person, you get that person. It's a bunch of different fetch quests. We don't really see the full, all of those fetch quests play out. But ultimately, at the end of the episode, all of the people, all of the humans that have played a part, well, and even a couple of the synths that have played a part in helping Prodigy are all in a jail cell together. As Wendy and her lost boys look at them and say that now they're the ones that are in charge. And then we get a Pearl Jam song. And that I was like, man. Fuck, that's the end of the season. That's what we're gonna end on.
And that's the band they choose.
So
that's
it's
the band they
choose. And it's just a tease.
I actually like that song.
All it is
it's the only one of the songs at the end that I was really a fan of. But yeah.
It's not even really like whether I like the songs or not. I find them all so jarring just because of what they are. But I was like, man, so we're ending on a cliffhanger. All of the shit that I talk, all of the negative stereotypes that I spew out there into the world about television shows, and here's a show giving me all of it right on a platter. And I try to, I want it like. I know there are good shows out there, guys. I get it. But man, a lot of shows are just like this, where it's just like, here's another little breadcrumb. And, slowly but surely, you're like Hansel and Gretel climbing into the friggin' oven and they're cooking you up.
Yeah, it was a really unfortunate resolution because it wasn't really much of a resolution at all. And it was just a bit of a bummer. What you didn't touch on yet, and if someone's touched on it and I just missed it, apologies, but we did get a fight between Captain Hook and
and Kirsch,
right?
Which I thought was pretty cool. I really dug that scene, and just in general.
So that was at least some kind of confrontation. I don't know what Kirsch is supposed to represent in this story. And going back to something you were talking about, Mahalo, I still thought it would have been better that if the Oculus had gotten in the Boy Genius. But the Boy Genius is now still around, but just, the quote unquote prisoner of the synths. And it's like, why are we keeping him around? He's like, there's no resolution. He hasn't learned anything. Like, he still thinks he's smarter than the synths, even though they've fucking got him. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much that are that just signify questionable creative decisions, and when your season finale puts forth more questions than answers, you haven't done it right, it's just, I'm glad we finally know what all 5 of the species do. Do we care? No, not really. Like there was not like, okay, I thought the payoff of what that plant thing was okay. Like, it wasn't a plant. It was just like a giant bat with, a super long dick mouth. And I'm like, ultimately I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. But like, I agree with you, Davey. It felt very, very CG for as long as they must have been working on this. They couldn't refine that a little bit. Like, I liked the initial scurry on the wall in the background, but even that felt like, that thing.
Yeah, that thing little liquidy.
Definitely added in post. Yeah, definitely separated from the frame of the film. But, I struggled. Like, I'm like, but at least there were cool creatures and stuff. And yes, there were, but they weren't even focused on long enough in this episode for me to, like, truly give it extra points for that or anything like that. So I don't know. The story played out very suboptimally for me. I don't know. Do you guys have any differing thoughts on the story there?
I mean, unless they really find a way to make season 2 a banger, I'm with you. I'm going to end up spite watching it. I'm going to have no choice.
Hey, watch it.
I have to know.
Here we go. Season 2.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yeah. They're doing exactly what I told them not to do.
Yeah. Who are we supposed to like
Erica
in this show?
Hey, Daddy Deathray. Wow.
Yeah, I've got a
hey,
group.
Daddy
There's a group that follows me around. They're very insistent, and they're very drippy and hot.
I
I'd like
guess.
to hug your face,
I
Daddy
guess.
Deathray.
I
have-
bet you would, Mahalo.
Yeah, I got like 110 pounds, and then I'm hoping for Zaddy status. I don't think I can ever get Daddy anymore. I'm a little too old for that. So good for you, Daddy Deathray.
Thanks, I appreciate it. But who are we supposed to like in the show? I'm like, that's one thing where I thought it was supposed to be Kirsch, and now there's just this really cloud of confusion of like, what is he? Is he just on his own? Is he just like some rogue synth now? Because he's
what
in
are
prison
his
with the people.
allegiances? Like,
Yeah. I don't know what they are. He doesn't like, Captain Hook. He doesn't seem to be really vibing with the boy genius, but yet he's still imprisoned and
he's
being
not
mistreated
Smee,
by the
right?
synths.
He couldn't. No one could call him Smee, could they? Like, he wasn't that
No, 'cause
beholden to Captain Hook or in any way,
Well,
shape, or form.
and they already call the one kid Smee, don't they?
Oh, that's right. They did. Yeah, they did have a Smee in there.
So
Which doesn't make sense because he didn't help.
Not
Captain
at
Hook.
all.
Oh wait,
He's not a lost boy.
Unless it was the Indian kid, which would have made sense because he actually helped.
That
Captain
was
Hook.
Yeah,
They should have
slightly,
made
yeah.
him
I mean,
Smee.
could he be Rufio?
Oh Jesus.
Rufy. Oh,
So
He's
I just
the
like
only
who-
logical one technically out of anybody that we've seen, and he's
True.
really far from logical for
True.
a synth.
Mhm.
But out of all the characters you see, he's the only logical one. He goes against the captain. He goes against Peter Pan. He goes against Captain Hook. He's all for the kids though. I don't know. So I see a lot of Rufio if we were to equate him to somebody, but I really liked how they just left his back broken and just threw him there. They just threw his body
Yeah,
up
he's
there.
just laying there. He's paralyzed. Yeah, and like I don't get it. Like, are we supposed to root for the synths because we see them as like oppressed in some way? Because I don't think they're really like, again, they're a bunch of children with superhuman bodies and they're acting like children. They're not really like being really cool about
I don't know, I guess, enough about synths, but why the fuck would breaking a synth's back make it unable to walk? Like, do they really like build them so much like humans where they have nerves that if you sever them they can no longer walk, or are they just tubes carrying wires that can bend inward a little bit if you get your like, it doesn't make sense. They're not that biological that they would be like, I've never seen a quadra or paraplegic synth in any of these fucking movies because it doesn't make fucking sense for them to be.
It
like,
would be
the only
hilarious
one that
if
had
they
trouble
did.
walking was Bishop after its encounter with the Queen, which, what are you gonna do?
I guess they didn't have the budget to rip Timothy Oliphant in half in this one. So
I mean, if they were to actually break the
I
synth's
think
leg, it would
contractually you
make
have
sense.
to call him Olifantastic. I'm not sure.
All
Okay, I'm
fantastic.
sorry.
I like that.
call him daddy.
I'll bet a lot of women have. I'm not gonna lie. Between Deadwood and ironically enough, Santa Clarita Diet. There's a lot of women that love that dude. So let me just take a quick pause. Shout out, I did mention Erica in the chat, but also we have Dom Thinosaur, as well as Paula in the chat. What's going on? And Spider Clips earlier on as well, and Eli Cortez. What's going on, everyone? Good to see y'all. So
Hell yeah.
acting wise, I still hate the boy genius, and Wendy is now so narrow in what she's portraying herself to be. Like, now she's just a petulant child thinking that she knows better than everyone else, and that to me is so uninteresting. Like, if she made these calls, you gotta at least help us understand why, so that we can kind of be on board with this. Otherwise, you've turned her into kind of the villain of the show, and we haven't bought into that. And so now you're making the entire end of your entire first season hinge on whether or not we can buy into that, and we don't. And so it's a very odd series of decisions here. But yeah, acting wise, the scripts forced the actors into performances that I am not the biggest fan of. I suppose that's the most politically correct way I can say that. What about you guys, acting wise? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think you hit it on the head right there. I don't like the brother. I can't stand him when he is on screen. I I really hope they're not pushing for us to like him because I cannot wait till they give him a death scene. I don't think I've wanted this more than Joffrey in Game of Thrones.
Wow.
So, yeah, I cannot stand him. He's just got a punchable face. The uh, All of Fantastic is really the key shining stone. Uh, I think where they've pushed Wendy's character, there's really not much more she can do unless there's some kind of big revelation in season 2 that changes her fundamentally. But I don't think that's coming. I just, I'm with Davey. I just don't know who to like or who to really care about besides really Ola Fantastic. I kind of like Captain Hook, Kumi, but that's
Mhm.
just a kind of. I mean, at this point in time, I'd more focus on the xenomorph. Make the xenomorph the main character. That'd be my bet.
Yeah, it's a sad thing that like we literally don't know who we're supposed to be rooting for in this show.
Yeah. I mean, you just said that like she's kind of the villain, and I'm like, well, yeah, they're almost like half the people are kind of the villain,
Mm-hmm.
right? Boy Genius, Kumi, now Kirsch feels like maybe he's got some weird thing going on that's his own agenda, and then Wendy, and it's just like, okay, like what? I don't know. Is it a commentary on the way that? So I'm doing too much work for these people. I'm like, are they just trying to say that kind of what the brother says in the episode that life is complicated? Are they? Is that what it's that? If that's really what they're trying to say in the story, then I think they should have pulled focus a little bit more throughout the entire season.
Part of
Because
yeah, sorry, go ahead, continue.
no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
What I was just gonna say is part of what frustrates me so much is regarding the brother. Fuck, I just had it and it kind of flitted away as I started to talk. It'll come back to me though.
But
So
this is
he was just such a like. Okay, anyway, continue, Davey, and I'll narrow down my thought again.
I was just gonna say, it seems like the show has like gotten pretty cynical in the last few episodes. You know, where I'm just like, what? Like, they started off having kind of clear-cut roles. I thought we were gonna root for the synths, and even though they were a big part of the show or the whole season, and we were hoping we would get more focus on the alien. I'm like, well, the fact that they did focus so much on these characters, now we don't really know what's what. Like, is the next season going to be some sort of like Animal Farm thing where, they're finally in charge, but they find out that they're just as fucked up as the people that were in charge of them? Is that where they're going with this? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either. So I my point is gone. It's left my head, and you know what?
I'm so sorry.
I'm not. No, it's no one's fault but my own. I'm getting old, and the fact that, quite frankly, the show is just so in my mind, like I forgot the point. Who gives a shit? Move along. Like the fact that I don't even care that I forgot the point is like, it's not a good sign. Is what I'm leaning towards here. So yeah, let's talk about the production. So the thing is, clearly they put money behind the show, and that's all well and good, but if the script doesn't sustain the storytelling, then you have a much bigger problem than the amount of money you're throwing at it. And I feel like this needs to have, I mean, he's probably proven me wrong in past projects. I'm not sure exactly what Noah Hawley has done in the past, but this is not emblematic of a showrunner that fits the franchise. I won't say it's not emblematic of a good showrunner, because Noah Hawley might very well be a good showrunner, but this is not emblematic of someone that is gelling well with the franchise, in my opinion. Documentarios in the chat. Disappointing, horrible, total destruction of science fiction in the Alien saga. We should boycott the second season. How? Don't watch the series when it premieres. I unfortunately, the fact that I run this channel and the fact that I am OCD about watching every new installment of franchises that I've ever watched, I will be unable to oblige that. But if you are able to do so, more power to you, sir. Or ma'am, whoever might be behind the comments, or they, Jesus Christ, nowadays you never know. But still, I can't help but find out where things go. I mean, again, this is coming from the
Sure.
guy that has gotten all the Marvel Alien comics, all the Marvel Predator comics, just because I am a completionist in that way, and I have to know. I have to know it all, you know, whether it's good or bad. I have to experience it all. So, but I mean, overall, it was a pretty show. It was a good looking show, and the effects for the most part were pretty top tier. So all of that was done well enough. It's just it doesn't matter if the story you're watching you don't care about.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like they spent the money in the wrong places. And the director he just didn't have a clear vision. The sets were awesome. I liked the set design. It was very, especially when we were on the spaceship. The spaceship is probably my favorite set design area of the entire series. It felt to me the most like Alien when we were on the spaceship when all the stuff was originally happening and the creatures were getting out. The minute we get to Earth, and I just don't think Aliens on Earth works. It's not scary in the way that we want it to be, and the CGI at times doesn't seem much better than Goro in the last Mortal Kombat. And if you're not that much better than Goro, then where did you spend your money? Because it should have been on practical effects if you spent that little on CGI. And if you'd have spent more on practical effects, maybe the actors could have actually given a little more energy to the things that they're interacting with, like what happened in the first Alien movie. They missed the mark in trying to recapture the entirety of the series. And the worst part is I'm right with you, Cecil. I'm going to be stuck watching the next season, and I'm going to be stuck having to figure out what this eyeball monster says to Kirsch or to his ex-human wife.
The fact that they didn't let it talk once before the season ended with all the talk, like build up and like discussion about it, was so disappointing. Holy shit! What a choice.
Well, just how like what we were postulating just a couple weeks ago. We were like, oh, like the last shot's got to be like the Oculus monster taking off in a spaceship, like in some. And you know what it does is it just gets inside of a corpse lying on a beach.
It not only
does the Michael Myers sit up, and then we're fucking out. That's all we get on the Oculus.
Not only that,
that's
but
the season finale.
How the fuck did it know to go right there? Like, you know, like an entire fucking island and landmass, and it happens to go right where there's a corpse waiting for it.
Dude, that thing's fast. How did it get there? So fast.
Is getting inside of a corpse, like, is that conducive to its like longevity or living experience?
Technically, anything it gets into is a corpse because it pulls their eyes out and they die, and then it starts controlling.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Fucking Oculus. I wanted so much more than that damn thing. I was like, this thing should be the big bad, and maybe it will be, but man, like you said, Cecil, like they're raising more questions than they're answering. It's the total like J.J. Abrams. It's the frustrating side of J.J. Abrams here.
Yeah. So let's I mean, sound design is fine. Sound design is always good in these things, and I feel like it was good here as well. But effects wise, again, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Like there's a lot that is well done. I think most of the guard dog Xeno is done well. I don't remember a ton of questionable shots with it because it feels like that's a practical one that they actually built to use for a lot of those shots. So I like that. Otherwise, effects wise, it was just such a mixed bag. I don't know. Davey, you clearly thought so.
Yeah, I think, just like any of these productions, you want to see as much practical as you can. You understand that some of it's going to be digital, right? I just think that maybe it's a more of a lighting kind of thing. I feel like digital effects look better when they're a little obscured, and I just think that lends itself better to hiding some of those imperfections and making, in particular, the plant alien here that just looks very fluid and doesn't really look like it's got much weight to it.
Yeah, I agree with you for sure there.
So yeah, I think that's one of those issues where I'm like, ugh, like I want to feel that that reality there. I would imagine the digital effects are probably the thing that are the most rushed, that they spend the least amount of money on. I still don't think that there's like a in Hollywood, I still don't think that there is a what's the word I'm looking for? A union for 3D like effects and stuff like that. So those people are not necessarily like given the same amount of production time
Yeah.
as everyone else. So yeah, I think the mixed bag on the effects. I think a lot, some of the matte painting work and everything like that was good. The spaceship stuff like that all worked for me. But yeah, some of the alien stuff not so much.
Mahalo?
No, I mean overall, yeah. What else can be said? I feel like we're just kind of repeating how we felt after we got to that mid-season slowdown. I'm still on the thing where if you just take the xenomorph out of this and you replace them with the blood ticks, what's the difference? There's this movie was the name Alien was just a cash grab to get your attention for someone's crazy idea that they wanted to have happen because they love Peter Pan. And that's really where we're at. Someone boy genius at Disney was like, "Oh, I really like this. Let's pull this together." And we just bought Alien and Predator. Let's go ahead and throw that in there too, because you better believe this is what's going to happen to Predator too.
That the fact that we're now done with the season just makes it that much more apparent how stupid and unnecessary the whole Peter Pan bullshit was. Like,
Sure.
it didn't come into play at all. Like, we're having to do the work ourselves to figure out who's who, unless they expressly named them that. And even then, they did it wrong. Because, again, the Indian kid should have been Smee, considering he was the one helping Captain Hook, even if it was by accident or by force. So, like, they just, there was so many mistakes made in this series that were then ran with. And I'm assuming thought of as really good ideas, or else perhaps they wouldn't have been ran with. So, yeah, I mean, overall, this is just like, this is not something that I would ever consider watching if I were ever to like do a series rewatch. And it's, some movies I will, like, if I ever wanted to watch the Wolf Creek series, I would watch the first 2 movies and then I would watch both seasons of the show. Because the Wolf Creek show actually does a really good job of capturing the vibe of the Wolf Creek movies, and they brought, Mick Jarrett back to be the killer in the series, and it was done really well. This is much more akin to the Critters TV series, which is now vanished from the internet, and you can't even see it anymore, and it was a whole 10-episode series that is just it's no longer talked about, it's no longer available, and the problem is season 1 of Alien Earth did so well that I guarantee they're going to continue with season 2. Like, it was the most watched show on Disney Plus a number of times, and it's an adult show, so they're gonna do more. And unfortunately, if this one was watched as highly as it was, with the questionable decisions that were made story-wise, who's to say they won't continue to make those questionable decisions in season 2, which is such a bummer to me.
And that's the fear, right? One of the most beloved horror sci-fi franchises of all time. And they've literally taken the bite out of the dog. Putting xenomorphs on a planetary surface without a horde of them just does not work. And if you're going to do a xenomorph 1 or 2, you got to do it on a ship. I mean, Romulus did a decent job. But you got to put them in space. This whole idea of aliens on Earth, take that AVP stuff and throw it away. Throw it away.
I think there's definitely ways to do a scary alien on Earth movie, but you can't do it with the whole fucking big corporate angle with corporate espionage and bullshit with Weyland-Yutani and Prodigy. No, it has to be a street-level horror movie where there's an alien stalking a neighborhood and people are fucking running afoul of it and they have to figure out how to stop it. Just like Alien, except in the fucking the dark streets of New York. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be a dope fucking Alien movie. But no one's doing that. They have to go high concept with this shit. And it's the same thing I think they could do with the Jurassic Park movie. Don't go as fucking big high concept as this. Just do a story about a fucking baryonyx loose in a neighborhood. And, you know, it's just one that's taking people out. And, you know, one fucking nasty dinosaur is enough to sustain a whole movie. Same with one fucking xenomorph, as has been proven by the best film. I like Aliens better, but a lot of people think the best film in the franchise, which is Alien, which is just one xenomorph. You know, you don't need more than that. And when you combine the fact that you don't have to have just a dude in a suit going, you know, like they did in the original, you can use the effects that we have now, make a scary fucking alien show on Earth, and just have it be Earthlings running afoul of a fucking xenomorph. Like, it's not that hard. Same fucking argument I have for Resident Evil. It's not that hard to adapt that shit.
Oh my god!
Just fucking do it right. Like, it's really not that hard. No,
they got to do their own. They have their own story that they want to work
concept.
into.
It just imagine. Like, everyone knows Alien can do that, but just imagine. It's like, no, I don't want to imagine. I want this done well in a different place.
The creators of the show were like, we could do that, but what if we explore the existential crisis of creating synths and clones?
Like, there's
instead?
a reason there's
like,
12 Jason movies and like 16 Michael Myers movies. It's like, it's just him killing again somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need more than that. Why are we overthinking this shit? Like, granted, for a series, you should overthink a little bit. But if you can't get, like, the simplicity of the idea right, you're not overthinking in the right direction. You know what I mean? Like, I would want someone, were I to do a Nightmare on Elm Street TV series, right? Adapt the first movie into a TV series, 10-episode TV series. I would overthink on how to expand that into a proper TV series. I would not overthink on how can I make this different and make it my own and tell the story of, like, the dream demons that made Freddy instead of Freddy himself. You know, it's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
It's so simple. Just do the thing. It's, again, I love that meme where it's just the stick figure poking something with a stick that's just like, do the thing. Like,
do the thing.
It's so, just do the thing. You know, like, just do the thing we know Alien's good at. Just do the thing. So
I have a question for both of you guys then. Do you think that this is something where, do you think they oversaturate these shows or put too many characters or storylines in them because that's just what people have come to expect from television? That if you did something, if they tried to do a full season where it's like the crew on the ship, would a regular TV audience feel bored that they're only getting like 8 to 10 people in their show instead of like 20 main characters to follow?
If it's written well enough, no, it doesn't matter. If it's written well enough, 8 people can sustain a show.
And because, and I just asked that question as somebody that doesn't watch a lot of TV, because I noticed that the shows that are successful, like, there's a lot going on. So you really only get like a few minutes with each character in each episode, maybe.
Yes and no. I mean, Breaking Bad, I wouldn't say there's a lot going on. It was just Walter's story, and it was usually 3-4 characters featured most heavily in a given episode. So, like, yeah, I don't think there needs to be that much going on. And if there is, have that much going on over the course of a season. But each episode should be a tightly focused chunk, a puzzle piece of that overall puzzle for the season. You know, don't like, you know, there's an awful lot of meandering going on in season 1 of Alien Earth. Whereas if it was a really tightly crafted season, I don't feel like we would have gotten that. Lose Reviews in the chat. Davey James also. What up, Davey James? Good to see you. Lose Reviews says the season is the prequel to what Cecil wants. Next season will bring more carnage. I hope so, but again, that's asking a lot. Like, guys, just chill. Like, this is just season 1. You know, next season you're gonna get what you want. Like, when you have to say that, you're admitting that you didn't give them what they wanted in season 1. You know, like, it's not great. But Lou does say Lou does say I like the season, looking forward to the next one. Davey James says I remember the old toy line, Panther aliens, gorilla aliens, and other hybrids. Why couldn't we have that? That actually,
That
you
would
know
be
what?
cool.
That would make sense if Wayland Yutani had shown up on Earth and captured a bunch of fucking different Earth creatures to then experiment to see what different Xenos look like and function like based on the different creatures that they're birthed out of. That's a fucking great idea, Davy James. You know, bravo, sir. You know what I mean? Like, that's a great idea. Like, I extrapolated a little based on what you said and like turned it into something else, of course, but it that's a great fucking idea. And that's the thing that is just kind of like known about, or they anticipate that you just know about alien movies, is that the xenomorphs are different depending on what they're birthed out of, but it's never been expressly said or expressly explored. And like, that would be an interesting exploration. And you know what? That would also actually be a show that you could call Alien Earth instead of Synth Earth.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean,
mean?
they briefly touched
more...
on it. Sorry, go ahead, David.
Sorry. No, go ahead, Mahalo.
Oh, they briefly touched on the animal thing in, it was Alien 3 when the facehugger takes on the Rottweiler, and then we get that runner dog
Yes
thing.
and no,
But
because
just like
the director's cut, it was birthed out of a buffalo. So, like, I don't think you can say that the Rottweiler was made, or like that was shown specifically to show that it could be a different kind of alien.
Well, my point is the alien ran different than the other aliens. It took on a more quadruped thing. It took on more of that kind of form. And like he was saying in the toy line, one of my favorite toys was a bull alien. It was literally an alien that had horns like a bull. And I was like, that was awesome stuff. And if you're on Earth, release the facehuggers into the wild. Give me that for season 2, and I can forgive you for season 1. 100%.
Yeah, that's why it should have, like, you know, having Prodigy be like the main focus pretty much of this season kind of just screws all that up. If it really was Wayland Yutani, then you could have done the more Alien Earth, you know, mixing it, doing the hybrids with the animals and everything like that. But for whatever reason, we had to get our Peter Pan story, and 2 of Cecil's favorite characters of 2025, I think. Nibs and the boy genius.
You know what? You've put in my head the idea for such a cooler fucking season 1. Like, if the boy genius, like, if a group of people had shown up somewhere on Earth and the boy genius had just like, there's this biosphere essentially where he has just created a bunch of different, you know, xenomorph Earth creature hybrids that, you know, he puts a bunch of humans in to try and survive, you know, like, that would be interesting. And like, why is he doing this? And is it just, you know, let's not go the route of it's, you know, a TV show that's piped out across the galaxies, because Lord knows someone would do that. I think we could go more interesting than that, but that would be super interesting. I love the idea that if the boy genius had been like, he'd found a xenomorph and realized that the black goo and the xeno combined could fucking, you know, mutate it into different things, and like, you know, give us the tank scene that we got in Alien Resurrection, which I loved, showing all the Ripley clones that were fails. You know, show us tanks of creatures that didn't mesh with the xenomorph DNA, that were just grotesque and like didn't function. Like, that'd be so fucking cool. You know, there's a really cool idea that could have been done, but no, they opted for this, and now I'm resentful for that.
Well,
yeah,
it feels like they took. Go, Davey.
I was just gonna say, in the boy genius, we don't even really see him being much of a genius. We just see him being like really smug, and that's about it. You know, he's just like, good God, y'all. Yeah, they could.
Good God,
I mean,
y'all.
they really could have. That could have been something that they worked in, is show us him being, you know, being as smart as we're supposed to think he really is. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was like you want to see that from certain characters. Like, you want to see that from Reed Richards or Peter Parker. And so certain films haven't really done it. Other films have done it. And this was a great time with the boy genius to really show us that intelligence, and not just like, he's just smarmy.
He was really more boy financier than boy genius, wasn't he? Like, he never demonstrated his genius at all, outside of the fact that he was the guy that created the way that they could transfer the kids' brains into synths. But that was never shown. That was never, like, outside of them telling us that, that there's no evidence of him being a boy genius, just a spoiled brat with a lot of money.
Yes.
And that's not engaging at all.
They should have learned from stuff like Iron Man and all that, where it's like you show him, yes, he's got a team that works on everything, but maybe he's the one doing some maintenance on some of these. Like maybe somebody walks into his room and he's like got Kirsch's control panel opened up and he's doing something. He's just, just some sort of personality other than Jesse Eisenberg, Lex Luthor. Go.
Show that he can do everyone's job. Like have someone fuck up and then he just goes over, knocks him out of the way and just fucking, show that he can do anything that anyone in the room can do, and that's why he's in charge. You know what I mean? Not just this petulant fucking child. He's, I guess, is that another analogy to make him Peter Pan, is that he's just a petulant child that refuses to grow up? But he can't just be that, because Peter Pan wouldn't have started an entire company. He would have just been focused on self-pleasure in the non-sexual way. You know what I mean, right? Just trying to make himself happy, because that's what a boy would do. But no, clearly there's something more to this character, or at least they're telling us there was, but they've never, ever, ever had the character himself display that sort of, those sort of characteristics.
I think a big reason why we don't feel the way we do, or why we should feel about the Xenomorph, is because of the choice for them to use children. Hear me out here. The whole design of the Xenomorph is phallic. The whole point of Alien in itself is it's a pervasive, penetrative horror. It's a body horror, sexual horror, right? That was the whole point of H.R. Geiger's design. And then when you give it to Disney and Disney sees that awesome, great horror vibe, what can Disney do with it? They're meant for children. And when you put the children into the show, you have to remove that component out of the show. And by removing that component out, you're taking away a core reason of why we feel so grossed out when the Xenomorph does what it does. And we're not going to have that with this show. So all we can hope for is really great bloody kills.
Yeah. And
I mean, we even get the Xeno with the baby Xeno. I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna do their own little side show. It's gonna be Xeno and Stitch. It's gonna be a cartoon.
Xeno and me.
I was expecting the bigger one to be like, and have the little one go, just so
little
dumb.
high five. Yeah. Hey, at least they're honest, right?
I mean.
Whatever that means,
could apply to a number of different things. Guys, if you enjoyed this season, because clearly there's a number of people that have, and it's more power to them, right? Everything is subjective. Film is subjective.
Mm-hmm.
TV shows are subjective. And if you found enjoyment, again, more power to you. We live in a world where one side hates the other for any number of reasons, just because they think the way that they do. If you guys enjoy this show, fucking awesome. Like, I love that you found entertainment in it. I love that it's something that now you're going to be able to go back to when you rewatch your Alien shit. It's not something I will go back to, but if it is for you, awesome, right? I love that, because I guarantee there are sequels to franchises that I love that you abhor. So, I am totally fine with it swinging the other way for this particular instance. I just hold out hope for more in my estimation. I have certain things I would like to see happen. I was going to say I have certain standards that I'd like to see met, but that implies that anyone that likes it don't have those standards, and that's not the implication I'm trying to throw out there. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't for us. And not everything is going to be for everyone. And so hopefully there's some course correcting in season 2, because as Mahalo and I have said, we will be there, and we can call Davey on the phone and be like, all right, give it a try.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there, because these guys, pay me in Davey, Daddy Deathray.
Yeah,
money.
Daddy Deathray bucks.
I'm going to do every episode with a foam finger that says "Go Xeno," because that's all I'm hoping for.
Yeah, so I think that's as good a place to stop this discussion as any. We've beaten this horse pretty hard. So, guys, let us know what your thoughts are in those comments down below. Do you disagree with us? I mean, Lou has different thoughts, and you know, again, if he enjoyed it, awesome. I love. At least it wasn't a waste of time for everyone. You know what I mean? That's great. That makes me happy. So, so yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, especially if you're watching this after we do it live. I'm very curious about everyone's input on this. So, any final thoughts from either of you gentlemen?
Yeah.
Mahalo, have at it.
Do better. Do better.
That was so fucking personal sounding. Do better.
Yeah. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. I will say,
Yeah.
From Daddy Deathray.
So
From
daddy coded.
this hurts you just as much as it hurts me.
Hurts me more than it hurts you
yeah.
to say this. Sorry.
I will say, you know, the season, I enjoyed the first couple episodes for what they were. It had its bright spots. There were moments where I was like, okay, I can feel the momentum moving, but it had a couple false starts. And so, yeah, I'm pretty like, you know, C. I'd give it a C, maybe a C plus.
I would,
you know,
give it
but
higher than that.
yeah, but again, it's just like, you know, like Cecil said, it's just out of all the things we can argue about and everything, like your taste in art, like you should like what you like and not give a fuck what anyone else thinks about it, for sure. So yeah, I'm pumped for the people that enjoyed this, and I hope that the second season will bring something that will you know, be for that'll just tie me into a more focused story is really what I'm looking for here. I know the characters, at least I know the baseline, but I want to know like really what the hell's going on. So I'm curious to see where they go with it, and hopefully they don't waste any time in the second season and get right to it.
It looks like Ashton and Davey both give it a C minus, and Lou's Reviews gives it a B minus.
Minus.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I think that's pretty fair.
I'd give it probably a C as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably just give it a solid C.
Yeah.
Right now it is 7.5 on IMDb, so we are right there.
Yeah, we're
guys.
we're right in the same arena. Okay, well there you go. I mean, again, all Disney cares about is ratings, especially now. You know,
I saw that they just raised their prices too. I wonder what happened.
They're like,
you guys had to raise your prices.
We lost a percentage of our audience. If we raise prices $3, we'll be good. You know, like we'll make up for everyone we lost. And you know what? The people that are still there, they're not going to say shit. They're going to pay that extra $3, and the world will keep spinning.
And finally, the Star Wars bros and the people who just unsubbed to Disney Plus have something that they can, you know, rally together against, which is Disney.
Yeah,
there you go.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. Thank you to everyone that has been watching, and thank you to everyone that has been contributing in the chat. Lou gave it a B minus, and oh yeah, I already gave those. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure I didn't miss any. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, especially if you've watched all the way up to this point. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel the way that you do. We have a lot of interesting stuff coming up. We're going to be doing, Fuego and I did a reaction to the new It trailer for Welcome to Derry. They released the third trailer for that. So it was the first story trailer. And so that was interesting. It turns out that not only is it telling the story of the Hanlon family, but it actually also has a character from The Shining show up in there too. So like that crossover, and interested to see what they do with that series. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing our thoughts on that, go check out that reaction. Other than that, we have a lot of Fantastic Fest coverage coming up. So far, we've put up our review of Coyotes and Dolly, but there's a lot more coming, including Fuego and I watched and reviewed Beast of War, the shark movie taking place during World War II. And guys, flat out, best of the fest for me. That movie is so awesome. It is, I think it's better than Dangerous Animals. It is such a great shark movie. And the nice thing is, it's also a great war movie. Like usually shark movies, you know, you like for the shark bits and everything else is just kind of meh. This one, the war stuff, is actually just as engaging as the shark stuff. So awesome movie. So yeah, stay tuned. Fuego and I are going to be reviewing that. Yeah, lots of cool stuff coming your way. Thank you guys very much for joining. Davey, why don't you let them know what's going on over on your channel?
Yeah, I've got so tomorrow night, Wednesday, we're going live at 9 p.m. Eastern for Late Night with the Davey. We've got Mika and Kira from Double Feature Podcast that are going to be dropping on by as guests, and we're going to go over our top 3 spooky season double features with a little bit of a twist in that we're not allowing, you can't just say Halloween and Halloween 2. We're going to do like a no sequel kind of thing. Exactly. So, it'll just be like kind of like, we're going to just be discussing those movies that have got the matching moods and atmospheres and all that good stuff for spooky season. And then just I'm going live all the friggin' time. So if you don't know my channel yet, then come on over and hang out. I go live about 4 times a week, and we have an absolute blast.
I would pitch Tucker and Dale versus Evil paired with The Final Girls. I think that's
a good one.
A really good double feature. Mahalo,
yeah, those are both
what have
solid.
you got going on?
I'm working on music stuff.
Yeah.
Woo, yeah.
Is Chiron still like gathering, or are you doing some solo music stuff?
No,
now?
our bass player has joined the Navy. He is off to do naval things.
Okay.
Our singer is currently busy with her job, so Fuego is doing his big thing. So it's just me. Yeah,
Okay.
solo. Long words for letter solo.
Are you like actually gonna be like release solo music? Because I would like to hear that.
I don't know about releasing any of my solo stuff. It's scarier when you're by yourself. I can't blame Fuego for drums if he's not drumming. I can't blame the singer for singing if she's not singing. So that's scarier. But
it's all on you.
Yeah, just doing music for whatever I can. I do have a small YouTube channel called Tasks and Taverns. It has 2 episodes up with D&D. We'll release another episode next month once I have that one finished and edited. And that's it. That's all I got going on, guys.
Mahalo is our dungeon master here on the channel. We were able to film 4 episodes of Mistfall, which was which was all of our first attempt at a horror themed D&D campaign. We have 2 episodes up on the channel and 2 more that I would like to release at some point. But at some point I do want to relaunch it and do like a whole new campaign. Mahalo's been asking to do it for a while, and Mahalo excels at it. He's a fantastic dungeon master. So I really would like to do that. Davey, is that something you'd be interested to take part in? Because this was pre you being on the channel.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I've never done D&D before, so I can be like, that's the character I'll play. I'll play the guy that's never done it before.
That works.
That's a lot. Most people at a table.
Yeah. Cool, guys. Well, all right. So thank you very much for watching. And we'll be back this Friday on this channel to celebrate my birthday, Fuego's birthday, Mahalo's birthday. All of us are in September, and we're going to do a live stream where we're going to do a listen along with the brand new Midnight Syndicate album that is being released. It is 6 unreleased tracks. We're going to be listening to them, talking about what kind of movie that the tracks make us think about. And then after we discuss all of that, Midnight Syndicate themselves are going to show up and discuss the music with us and let us know what each of the tracks were originally made for. We're going to see if we could guess what that might be ahead of time. So it's going to be a ton of fun. And then there's a chance afterwards, once we've all had a few drinks, anyone that is drinking, I know not everyone will be, but there's a chance we might do an episode of Horror Show Karaoke. We've done a couple in the past, and they don't necessarily always stay up on the channel, but they're really fun when we do them live. So there's a chance we'll be doing that as well. So come on back on Friday to have some fun with us. But for now, thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel. And until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
I've been Davey Deathray.
And I'm still Mahalo.
And remember, guys, stay scared.
Stay scared.